Will, would, and used to. Let's talk about will and would. We can use will for the present and would for the past to talk about a number of different things. The first being characteristic behavior or habits. Examples: every day Gerald will come home from work and cook himself dinner. At school, she would always sit quietly and pay attention. Every evening, Colin will pass by his favourite cafe for an ice cream. Her dad would always read them a bedtime story. Another situation is when we're talking about things that are or were always true. Examples: cold weather will kill certain plants. Water will hydrate you. During the war, people would eat all kinds of things that we don't eat now. In Victorian times, women would wear their hair in elaborate styles. We don't use will or would in this way to talk about a particular occasion. Consider, each time I gave him a problem, he would solve it for me. This is a general situation. And last night I gave him a problem and he solved it for me. We just use the past tense here, not he would solve it, because this is a particular occasion. Every weekend, my grandma would cook pancakes for me. General. Last weekend, my grandma cooked pancakes for me. This is a particular situation, so we cannot say my grandma would cook pancakes for me. However, we can use will not or won't and would not, wouldn't in either case for both general and particular occasions. For example, he wouldn't walk the 5 miles to his place of work. This is characteristic behavior. But we can also say, she wouldn't say what was wrong when I asked her, for a particular situation. He wouldn't go hiking with me on weekends. Characteristic behavior. He wouldn't go to the new exhibition with me. A particular occasion. In speech, we can stress will or would to criticize people's characteristic behavior or habits. Examples: he just won't take the bin out when I ask him. I was happy when Gerald left. He would talk about people behind their backs. He won't tell me when he's upset. I'm glad my boss quit. She would micromanage the whole office. We can also express disapproval of something they have done by using will. Examples: I feel sick. Well, if you will eat so much, I'm not surprised. I got a speeding ticket. Well, if you will drive so recklessly. We can use will to draw conclusions or state assumptions about things that are the case now. For example, Colin will be at home by now. Let's go and see him. You will know that Colin and Isabel are engaged. This means I assume you already know. He will be happy about his new promotion. Let's go and congratulate him. Would and used to. When we talk about repeated events in the past that don't happen now, we can use either would or used to plus base. However, we can use would only if the time reference is clear. For example, we used to play in the garden. This has no time reference, so we cannot say we would play in the garden. Whereas, whenever we went to my grandma's house, we would play in the garden. Whenever we went to my grandma's house, we used to play in the garden. Both of these are absolutely fine because we have the time reference of whenever we went to my grandma's house. We can use used to, but not would, when we talk about past states that have changed. For example, the cafe used to be over there, but it isn't anymore. Didn't you used to have red hair? Didn't you used to wear glasses? We just note here that when we're forming the negative of used to, we would say didn't used to. we don't use either used to or would when we say exactly how many times in total something has happened, how long something took, or that a single event happened at a given past time. For example, we visited Japan 4 times during the 1990s. This is very specific. We state how many times we go and in a specific time. So we cannot say we would visit Japan 4 times or we used to visit Japan 4 times. These are not possible. Another example, he went to London last month. We have a specific time here, so we have to use the past tense rather than she would visit or she would go. Would, will have plus past participle. To talk about an unreal past situation, that is an imaginary situation or a situation that might have happened in the past but didn't, we use would have plus past participle. Example, I would have been happy to see him, but I didn't have time. He would have visited, but he had too much work to do. However, to say that we think a past situation actually happened, we use will have plus past participle. For example, as it was cloudy, few people will have seen last night's lunar eclipse. We don't say few people would have seen, because this is a past situation that actually happened. Another example, he will have heard about Colin's new job. They met up last night. This is a past situation that actually happened. So let's do some practice now with some exercises. Let's do some practice. Complete the doctor and patient speech bubbles using will or would, followed by one of these verbs. If will or would are not possible, use a verb in the past simple. Be, cause, exercise, find, have, know, sit, and spend. 1. Most days I 8 hours or more in front of my computer. This is characteristic habits, so we can use will and we're going to use spend. So most days I will spend 8 hours or more in front of my computer. Yesterday a sharp pain in my lower back. This is a particular occasion, so we don't use will or would. Instead, we'll use a past simple, and we're going to use have. Yesterday, I had a sharp pain in my lower back. No, I'm not that fit now. When I was at college, in the gym most days. This is again talking about habits in the past, so we can use would. And the verb, exercise. No, I'm not that fit now. When I was at college, I would exercise in the gym most days. When I tried to stand, that I couldn't straighten up. This is a particular occasion, so will or would are not appropriate. So it's just going to be the past simple of the verb find. When I tried to stand, I found that I couldn't straighten up. Over time, poor posture, back pain. This is talking about things which are generally true, things which are always true. So we can use will to indicate that, and we're going to use the verb cause. Over time, poor posture will cause back pain. Before computers came along, people rarely still for so long. Again, this is about something which is always true, but in the past. So we can use would here with the verb sit. Before computers came along, people would rarely sit still for so long. I'm sure you about the need to take regular breaks. This is about drawing conclusions about something, making assumptions. So here we can use will, and we're going to use it with the verb know. I'm sure you will know about the need to take regular breaks. That, probably the result of sitting badly. Here again we have a drawing of a conclusion, in which case we can use will or in fact would here with the verb be. So that will or would probably be the result of sitting badly. If necessary, correct these sentences using would or used to. If neither would nor used to is correct, use a past simple verb form. I would enjoy studying Latin when I was at school. So this is referring to a changed past state. And in this case, we don't use would, but we use used to instead. So not would, but I used to enjoy studying Latin when I was at school. Orwell would spend winters in Spain and summers in England. This is absolutely fine. We can use would with this specified time frame. 3. We would live in a bungalow on the south coast and then we moved to a flat in town. This is a changed past state, and in this case we don't use would, but we use used to. We used to live in a bungalow on the south coast and then we moved to a flat in town. 4. You used to teach at Halston University, didn't you? This is a changed past state, so used to is correct. On Saturdays and Sundays, the ferry used to take tourists across to the island. This is perfectly acceptable. You can use used to here. But we also have a specified time frame. So we could also have said on Saturdays and Sundays, the ferry would. So this is correct. 6. The committee would meet 4 times last week, but still no decision has been reached. So here we specify the number of times that something has happened, 4 times. So we can't use either used to or would. So instead, we're just going to use the past simple verb form of meet. So the company met 4 times last week, but still no decision has been reached. Complete these sentences with will have or would have and the past participle of one of these verbs. Approve, buy, hear, hurt, notice, prefer, watch. 1. According to official figures, over half the population, the final of the song contest on TV last night. This is a past situation that actually happened, and we're saying what we think happened. So according to official figures, over half the population will have watched the final of the song contest on TV last night. I enjoyed the exhibition, but I don't think my grandmother of it. This is an unreal past, so we're going to use would plus the past participle of the verb approve. I enjoyed the exhibition, but I don't think my grandmother would have approved of it. I don't think the dog anyone, but I was still glad when the owner took it away. So here we have an unreal past. We won't know what happened, so we're going to use would plus the past participle of the verb to hurt. I don't think the dog would have hurt anyone, but I was still glad when the owner took it away. I'm sure by now you about yesterday's robbery at the supermarket. This is giving an opinion on a past situation which actually happened and an assumption you're making from it. So we're going to use will plus the past participle of hurt here. I'm sure by now you will have heard about yesterday's robbery at the supermarket. 5. The train journey was quite comfortable, although to fly. This is an unreal past, so we're going to use would have plus the past participle of the verb prefer. The train journey was quite comfortable, although I would have preferred to fly. Regular readers, the return of a popular feature to our website. So here we have a situation where it could be an unreal past, or it could be about referring to our opinion of something that actually happened. So we can use either regular readers will or would have noticed the return of a popular feature to our website. Did you like the present Justin gave you for your birthday? Well, an umbrella stand isn't something I myself, but I suppose it might be useful. This is an unreal past, and we have just one verb left, to buy. So, did you like the present Justin gave you for your birthday? Well, an umbrella stand isn't something I would have bought myself, but I suppose it might be useful. Any questions? Let me know in the comments.